Hey you guys, I was just kind of hanging out with Foley and I thought, you know what, instead of wasting my time just scrolling YouTube aimlessly, I should probably actually make some more videos for YouTube instead of just mindlessly consuming it, right? Which hopefully you can do now, right? But yeah, so I was thinking, okay, well, I don't really know what to do, but I figured I could talk a little bit about what my experience was like of my first Shou Gong workshop. I started off learning. I think a lot of people do this with Shou Gong, where I started off learning online. So I had already been studying it a while before actually meeting with other Shou Gong instructors face to face, right? But yeah, I mean, it was a UK workshop. There was roughly 20 people. I mean, it could have been more. My memory is that there was quite a lot of people. It seemed like one of the bigger ones that I've attended. And yeah, in terms of the instructors who was actually there. So again, for some reason, I don't know what the deal was with this one, but there were a lot. So we obviously had Master Yap and Lyndon were there. I think they were the ones I was most sort of familiar with from stuff I'd seen online. Obviously, I mean mainly Master Yap because of the Martial Man videos. Um, there was Dirk from Germany. There was Ortwin and his wife. I should say Ortwin Potter, not like Dr. Ortwin, the um, the guy that's teaching Wuji. There's some mix up there. They're both based in Germany, I think. But and yeah, Ortwin is like high level instructor. I'm not sure whether he was level 5 when I first met him, but I mean yeah, he's I'm sure he's level 5 now, so he's right up there. So yeah, and even like Michael was there. I don't know if anyone's met Michael, but he's instructor based out in. I'm pretty sure he's out in Malaysia. Oh, Foley's snoring. It's not super fascinating. That's the problem, you know. But yeah, it was arranged by Richard, one of the other UK Yan Shou Gong instructors. At the time, I guess he was like a level 2 instructor, maybe even level 1 because it was a while ago now. But yeah, that was the first time I met him, and it was weird. It wasn't planned, but even like Master Dennis ended up being at that workshop. I think he was traveling. My if memory serves, he was traveling for like he was teaching Hanyang workshops, right? And I think he happened to have a weekend free just when Master Yap was doing the Yan Shou Gong workshop. So they messaged each other or whatever and said, hey, look, let's meet up. So he ended up teaching a warm up and some other kind of just things to kind of loosen us up or whatever. And yeah, it was cool. It was. I mean, honestly, at that time, I didn't really like. I looked him up because I realized he was going to be there, but at that time, I wasn't really familiar with Master Dennis's work, so it was super lucky. It was really, I don't know, just fortuitous the way everything came together. So that was really cool. Um, and yeah, he was great. It's nice to meet him, and I think he, I mean, that's the thing. He doesn't really teach. Obviously, he doesn't teach like Yan Shou Gong stuff, but because the principles are so similar, and I mean, Master Dennis studied other martial arts in the past as well. He still has a lot of insight into it. So it was really, yeah, it was just really good to meet him there. And like I said, it was the first time meeting Master Yap as well, which was, yeah, it was exciting. I'd spent a lot of time watching him on videos and stuff and seeing him in interviews, and Yeah, I feel like if anyone is learning through the online modules, or maybe they have maybe there's a class or something they're attending, but they haven't managed to meet Master Yap yet. I really encourage people to do it just because it's I don't know, it's cool. Like it's nice to get to interact with someone that we've learned from online, right? It's obviously it's different. It's obviously more interactive, and yeah, it was yeah, 100% worth it for me. In terms of what we went through, of course, there was the usual stuff, this sort of stretching and kind of like, I don't know, like getting into it, and a lot of work on everything comes from emptiness, or all things come from emptiness. The first form, and I'm thinking that's probably what we spent the majority of the first day with, in terms of the testing and everything else, because again there's a lot of like, we'll go through some stuff and then we'll break apart and do some partner movements, some partner work I should say, where we're sort of checking, it might be the sort of posture or alignment, or just making sure that the movements are right. And yeah, it was cool. Like, I met a lot of different people there, and actually there's at least one person I met there that I'm now really good friends with. So it was a great way to kind of meet other students and to form relationships. I mean, because you can, again, you can learn this stuff online, and I think you get a lot of I get a lot from it, but there's also this social kind of aspect of doing martial arts, and given that there aren't loads of regular Shou Gong classes, I mean, we're lucky really in the UK. There are regular classes run by both Richard, by Paul, and by Malcolm. So you've got these different classes, but for most people, they don't who are learning Shou Gong, they don't really have access to that. So it's like you only really meet people at the workshops, right? So yeah, I think that was just another kind of nice element of it, I guess. And uh, I won't go anyway. I won't go into too much more detail there. I mean, I don't know. You want my life story or whatever, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Mm, but yeah, so we did a lot of work on the first form, and I was really lucky as well in that because I'd already done the online learning, I managed to. It was on the second day. Master Yap was saying, "Hey, look, if people are already familiar with the first form and you don't need to keep going over it, we can do some work on the second form." And it was only me and another woman who was, I can't remember where she, I mean, she was Irish, but I can't remember where exactly she was based. But we both ended up working with Master Yap, going through look left, look right, and again doing some testing and stuff, which just was a great experience. And there were just little kind of details and things that, again, it is explained in the videos. I'm particularly thinking of the way lining up the middle finger with the nail of the thumb when you're doing the like pressing the coffee motion. If you know, you know. But it's just one of these movements from the second form, which is repeated, but and just showing us how, hey, look, even if the alignment of your hands, if it's wrong, it just doesn't work so well, or even kind of at all. It's a strange one. And asking like, yeah, what's the deal with this? And Mastia said something like, oh, I don't know, it's just part of the magic of the form, or something like that. And yeah, it's weird. It's weird how much difference these little details make. And of course, again, practicing at home, it's not like I was getting it all wrong, but there's just things that you miss. Even if it's said in the videos, it's much clearer when you're with someone and they can just be with you physically and say, hey, look, your hand is just here and it needs to be here, or hey, maybe it would be better if your elbow is more tucked in, or whatever it is. It depends on the particular movement or technique. But yeah, so I definitely had a sort of good experience with that. I was lucky, and that I got to spend a little bit of extra time going over the second form, and also I think it's partly luck, but it's also that, like, I had spent the time learning the form, so I don't say it's all completely luck, but yeah, it was really cool. And there was a lot of stuff where I felt like seeing it online, a lot of it looks so mystical, or like it just looks strange. And to be honest, I did struggle with some of the testing where I was feeling like, as someone who's there helping the other person, I'm like, well, what is really required of me? So, for example, some of the movements, they work really well if you're testing someone where you keep quite rigid, and as they go through the movement, instead of allowing yourself to move with them, you kind of stay rigid, and it helps illustrate what the movement is, sort of the purpose of the movement. And at first I just didn't get it. It wasn't the kind of way I had been used to doing martial arts stuff before. It was just a different way of approaching it. And so I definitely think, like, looking back now, I know I didn't get the full amount of all the, I don't want to say, I didn't, mm, yeah, I just didn't really get everything out of it that I could have done, I think. But again, as a beginner at that time, you each different workshop, you learn something new. And I think, yeah, that first one, it was definitely like a completely new step into something bizarre, like I didn't really get what was going on. And yeah, I started to feel things like, at one point I was practicing with a guy who is, actually, he's online, so I don't think he'll mind me saying, but I'm pretty sure I was practicing with Anthony Monteith, and he's got his own practice in Ireland and everything. I don't think he's a Shou Gong instructor, but he was there anyway. I know he's friends with Master Yap. But we were doing some movement, and I remember feeling like I don't really know what's going on, but as I was sort of holding him and as he was moving, I felt like almost like a weird sensation go through the sole of I think it was my right foot, and my heel came up off the ground, and I started to almost like lose my balance. And I felt like it's so strange because, like, I don't know why I've done that. There was no force in the movement, not muscular force. We said Li, like, muscular strength. It was strange. And a lot of the stuff, not all of it worked, right? Like, there were lots of moments where I thought, like, I don't get what's going on at all. But it was just moments like that I remember now, sort of years later, and think, oh, well, that was weird, like, and it's striking. And I think it really helps to kind of dispel some of the doubts about, like, is this system really, like, is there really sort of something legitimate here? And yeah, it was just moments like that where I thought, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know why that's worked in that way. And same for me, actually, doing the movements and other people responding. Like, there was one point where I was just extending the fingers, and the idea was to send the energy through the palms and through the fingertips. And Master Yap kind of, not jump back, but kind of hop back. I don't know what to say. And I thought, like, this is such a weird thing. Like, I don't understand, like, why. But again, it was intriguing enough that I thought, like, I want to keep going to this stuff. I mean, there was all these comments, because sometimes it wouldn't really work very well. And I know Lyndon was saying, and maybe Richard as well, was saying, like, hey, look, you're very rooted. Like, maybe naturally you have this, like, rooting, which I'm sure a lot of people do. But I just thought, like, I don't understand what you mean, like, I don't know what that is, or what or why that would be the case. But yeah, over time, it. I think that first workshop helped to demystify some of it. Anyway, there was definitely stuff I didn't get, but there was lots of things where I was like, oh, okay, a lot of it is to do with leverage. A lot of it's to do with like where you're putting your weight. Um, it the alignment of your body matters to give you sort of structural integrity. I mean, it sounds silly, but um, you know, it those things matter, and it started to make it. It just started to make more sense. It started to be, and I remember, you know, going through the movements after and thinking like, okay, well, it's again starting to demystify it a little bit, and it takes a while. It definitely is still a little bit mysterious to me, right? Maybe more than a little bit, but yeah, it was a good experience, and it helped to bring to life the stuff that I was seeing in the videos online, whether it's just like clips on YouTube or whether it's stuff from the videos from the martial man course. It really started to make a little bit more sense, and it had me hooked. You know, I was like, okay, well, because when I first went, I thought, hey, look, you know, I've been enjoying learning online, but maybe I'll do this workshop and like maybe I won't be into it. You know, like maybe I'll be disillusioned with it. Well, evidently not, right? But I didn't know at the time. I didn't really know. Um, so yeah, it was an interesting experience. You know, I started to get a little bit of that sense, a little bit of experience, hands-on experience with like what the like energy stuff was about, but I more so just understood it a little bit more on a physical level. So it started to be like, okay, well, I kind of see what's going on here with some of it, and I think that that process of getting it a little bit more each time, I mean, that's just continuous. It kind of always feels like that. Like no matter what workshop it is, there's always something like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, there's something new there. Um, and yeah, it was cool. I think at the time I'd been struggling a little bit. Like I didn't fully get the, I wasn't too sure of the footwork from the third form casting the net. And so I managed to catch Lyndon at the end of the workshop on day two and say, hey, look, you know, how does this, can I just ask you quickly, how does this work? And he explained it really clearly. And yeah, I think that's it. Like because of course with the online stuff, you can ask questions or whatever. And again, I really do recommend the online courses. But the having someone there you can just say, hey, by the way, I've been doing this and I don't quite get it, like can you just watch me and just say, and they can just, you know, it's going to take 10 seconds or maybe a bit more, but it's much easier than trying to describe it in via like text or something, you know, because of course there's a forum where you can ask questions and things with the course, which is really great. But yeah, I think it just all comes together so much better if you've done some of the online stuff and then you go and you meet them in person. It just yeah, everything starts to come together, or at least it did for me, right? So yeah, I won't go on and on about it. Just to say, yeah, it was a really good. It was a 2-day workshop. It was run very well by Richard, and yeah, and everyone, or more or less everyone, got together the last evening, had a big meal and everything at this. It was like a Thai place, which was like, I can't remember. There was something. It was like a burger bar slash Thai place or something like that. But anyway, it was cool, and yeah, it was nice. Again, it was a good chance to kind of get to know people a little bit better and bond a little bit. And yeah, I really appreciated that. Anyway, yeah, I think we'll wrap it there. But I hope that was you know, entertaining or whatever. And yeah, if you guys have memories of like, oh hey, this is what my first workshop was like, or oh yeah, you know, maybe you haven't attended one yet, but you're thinking about it, please leave a comment, and yeah, it'd be nice to hear where you guys are in your journey with Shou Gong. Um, but yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So I wish you all much love. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. And remember, Gongs never say die.